my friends, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. Today is Saturday, January the 26th, and it's about 10 o'clock at night. I was meaning to sit down and chat with you guys earlier today, but it's been a lazy day, and the day literally got away from me. I was updating the blog, and I looked up at the clock and went, oh my gosh, I really got to sit down and say hello to everybody. So here we are. So as usual, to start off a vlog this week, I'm going to be talking about my knitting. I don't have a lot of progress to show you guys, and if you have been following my vlogs, you know I've been knitting on 2 sweaters, and one sweater has been put to the side. It didn't get touched this week. Not because I'm not enjoying it. I really want to finish it. My goal is to finish it for my trip to New Hampshire / Boston in May, but right now I've got something else that's kind of taken my attention. So once I finish my other sweater, then I'll pick that one back up. So yeah, let's show you guys what I've been doing. Like I said, there's not a lot of progress in all this stuff because it was a long week last week, and you know, I'd get home from work and I'd do some reading or do some other things, and it's just like, you know, there's not enough hours in the day to do all the things that you want to do. Especially when you have to go to that horrible place called work. So we'll start off with my socks. So these are in my cute little knitting bag from Kay over at the Bakery Bears that she made a number of years ago that I bought. And like I said, not a lot of progress. So these are Hermione's Everyday Socks. That's the pattern. And I do my own toe, which is just a rounded toe. And then I do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. It's only $1, but it's a fantastic heel pattern. If you are nervous about doing socks, and you're nervous about doing socks because of the heel, I absolutely recommend this pattern because it's super duper easy. Like, at least I find it. In comparison to a typical heel flap and gusset that you would do on a pair of socks, this is not only easier but quicker, and it also fits me really well. And I find a lot of people say that too. So, you know, if you're interested in, you know, trying something different, give it a try. So there's where I was last Saturday. Again, I think I maybe got 1.5 inches done. I've got about 1.5 inches until I'm finished this sock. So my goal is, and I said this last week, but my goal is definitely to get the sock done this coming week and to get the second sock cast on, because I want to get these done because they're super adorable and I love them, and I can't wait to wear them because I think they're going to be really, really cozy. But yeah, I'm really loving the patterning in this, and I love this yarn. The yarn is from Truly Wicked Crafts, and the colorway is called Gobstopper. So these are my Gobstopper socks. Say that 3 times fast. So yeah, so really enjoying those. I'm knitting them on a US 1, and these are my Knitter's Pride Zings needles. These are some of my favorites. I'm absolutely loving these. I bought a whole set of interchangeables because I love them that much. So yeah, so these are very enjoyable to knit with, or very enjoyable to knit on as well. So they can go over there. So the sweater that I am working on, this is my what is this one called? Everything that this designer does is something with a fade in it, so I can never remember exactly what it's called. This isn't the So Faded. I think this is the Comfort Fade Cardi. So the Comfort Fade Cardi, there's the front of the pattern. So I'm actually knitting 2 of her patterns right now. Andrea Mowry is the designer. All these will be linked in the description box below to the patterns on Ravelry in case you're interested in checking it out. I'm still not done the body on this, you guys. I'm so disappointed in myself. I wanted to get this done, but then other things caught my attention, and you know how it goes. But I actually got, am I in the middle of a row again? I am. The last time I showed you guys this, I was in the middle of a flippin' row. So, last time I showed you guys, I was where my reindeer is. So I've gotten that done. I've started the ribbing on the bottom, as you can see. So now that I've seen this, I'm going to sit down tonight when I'm done this, and I'm going to finish this row at least, and then I'll maybe pick it back up earlier in the week. So yeah, really enjoying this. Kind of hard to show you guys, sorry, because it is in the middle of a row, but there's the sweater, the arm sleeves. So I have a bit of a ways to go. You know, I'll say it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I'd like to finish the body by the time I show you guys next Saturday, but we shall see. So yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying this one. It's a really great pattern, very straightforward. The yarn is Knit Picks Acrylic Brava. Brava is the name of their acrylic blend, or their acrylic yarn, I should say. And the colorway is called Seraphim, which is a great purpley gray, which I think is very, very pretty. I think it's going to look really nice once it's done. eventually once it's done. I want this one done for May as well because, like I said, I'm going to New Hampshire / Boston in May. I'm actually going to the New Hampshire Sheep and Wool on the Saturday. I'm super, super excited. And then on the Sunday, Monday, I haven't decided yet exactly how long after the festival I'm going to be gone. I don't know. I haven't decided whether I'm going to stay Sunday night or not yet. I'm definitely staying Sunday night, but I don't know whether I'm staying, like, to stay and do something on the Monday or driving home on the Monday. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see. I have been invited by Mr. Donahue to visit with him in Boston. So I don't know, I have to figure something out. But anyway, I want this sweater and that sweater both done for that trip. So that'll be fantastic. And then the last thing that's taken most of my attention over the last few days, even though you're going to look at this and go, you didn't get barely anything done. And it's true, because I didn't. So if you watched my vlog last week, I had got yarn in the mail. And I was super excited. And I could not wait to cast this shawl on. And the shawl, here's all my notes. Bear with me. Can I get to the front of this? Because I got a great cheat sheet I pulled off of... I can show you because this doesn't have anything to do with the pattern and it's in somebody's show note or somebody's notes on their thing. So the way the shawl goes is that there's a center spine that goes up it. So it tells you what row you should be on and how many stitches you should have on each side of that stitch marker. So this is a very, very cool, cool thing here. So the shawl is called The Birds of a Feather, and it is again by Andrea Mowry, the same designer as the, oh, here's the front of it. Same designer as the sweater, and there it is. This is a huge, huge oversized shawl. I was reading somebody's notes in somebody's project page, and they said that when they finished it, it was something like 7 feet long. So this is huge. So anyway, I had bought this yarn, and I was super excited about using it. So I ran into a couple of problems, and it's a good thing I don't do woodworking because of the amount of times I rip out what I've done and start it again. Like if I did I was thinking about this today. If I did woodworking, I would be broke buying wood to keep redoing. I always start projects like 6 times. Like I start it, I get so far, not happy with it, rip it out, do it again. It's the way that I knit, I guess. I don't know. Measure once, knit 17 times. So I bought this yarn and I thought it was super pretty and I really liked it. So what I had done was I had cast it on. And there was 2 colors. There was a gray and then a really pretty multicolor yarn from Hedgehog Fibers called Bollywood. And I didn't realize that the gray yarn at the very beginning of the shawl, it's very, very, it's a very loose gauge. Let's put it that way. It's like very loosey-goosey. And it wasn't looking nice. It was looking essentially like my cat's got the yarn and just kind of went wee with it. You know what I mean? It looked like a big mess because there was nothing structured at the bottom. And what I didn't realize is when I looked at the pattern is that it's the yarn itself is a very light fingering weight, a very light sock yarn or a thinner sock yarn, and it just wasn't meshing well. So I got kind of upset. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go down a couple needle sizes and maybe try and, tighten it up a little bit. So I stopped at my local yarn store on Thursday night and I went in to buy needles and I bought 2 skeins of yarn instead. So I bought yarn that is a little bit thicker and I started knitting with that and it was working perfectly and I was super happy. So then that was on Friday. So then this morning I was knitting away on it and I added in the second color because, again, let me pull up the pattern and I'll show you guys the picture again. Somewhere here. Where did it go? There it is. So the gray is what I had for the white sections and then the multicolored was for these sections. So I started knitting in the first of the multicolored sections and I hated the way the 2 yarns looked together. I just kept working on it and I just kept looking at it going, I'm not happy with this. And for a shawl that's going to be this big and it's going to take me this long to work on, I wanted something that I really, really liked and I just wasn't happy with it. So I went stash diving and I didn't think that I had 2, because you need 2 skeins of sock yarn for the white parts and only 1 for the multicolored part. I didn't think I had 2 skeins of the same color of sock yarn and I was so thrilled when I realized that I did. And so I recast it on again. So now this is what I have. So this is the what's it called? Birds of a Feather shawl. So the pink is actually that white section in the pattern page. So I have 2 skeins of this. This was dyed by a friend of mine that I used to go to knit group with, my in real life knit group. And it is, I think it's Mythic Yarn. I don't know if she still dyes yarn. I'll have to look. And if she does, I will leave a link to her website. And this is called Blushing Bally. And it is an 80/20 merino nylon, 415 yards. So it's really super pretty. I'm really, really liking it. And the gray is actually that gray that I was talking about that was giving me issue. But it's working now that I've got some sort of a base on it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it seems to be working now. So I'm very, very happy. So then this is, this yarn is Northbound Knitting, and the colorway of the gray is, do I have it in here? Oh, I guess I don't. I'll have to look for it. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. I want to say it's Ash or something like that. But yeah, so this is going to be really pretty. So the main body, like the main color in the shawl is going to be this pink. And then the gray is going to be, now in the pattern it shows, and a lot of people's project pages show, that they did a neutral color for the main, and then like a more variegated and fun color for the stripe parts. But I was looking at it, and I have a lot of like yarn that has like pink stripes in it, like, or like a lot of pink that would be very really variegated. But there's a lot of lace in this shawl, and for lace to really show up properly, you need a more neutral, not neutral per se, but a more tonal colorway, as opposed to something with a lot of different colors in it, because it just gets too busy. Do you know what I mean? So I think this is really going to be spectacular. I love pink and gray together. I knit a sweater last year that's pink and gray, so I think this is going to be really fantastic. It looks kind of funny right now, I know that, but believe me, this is going to look very, very cool when it gets more done to it. And this is knitting up relatively quickly now because it's still kind of small. So, you know, I'll be working on that throughout the next, you know, little while. So anyway, guys, that is my knitting. Let's get on to the reading for today. Oh, and the bag, in case you're curious, because I do like to show off the bags. This is my elephant bag, and this was done by Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. I bought this off of her a couple years ago from her shop. I was able to get in when she was selling, back when she used to sell bags. I don't think she does anymore. Now she's mostly a pattern designer, but she used to sell bags, and I thought this was just so adorable, so I had to buy it. And it's a great shawl or sweater size bag. So, anyway, reading for today. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just need a quick little... It's so super dry in here. We have the humidifier running. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. And everything we touch, we just get shocked. The poor cats are like walking around like, ooh. So reading today, I finished a book. I finished listening to The Way You Look Tonight by Bella Andre. This is the second book in the Seattle Sullivan series, but I think it's book 10 in the Sullivan series, and like the whole overarching series. It's each sub-series is about a different group of siblings, but overall they're all cousins to each other, kind of an idea. So this is the story of Rafe and Brooke, and they knew each other when they were children. They kind of grew up in the same little lakeside cottage community, if you will, just outside of Seattle, Washington. And they parted ways when Sean, I think, was... I want to say he was 14 or 16, like he was in his early teens, and she was 10 or 12 maybe. But yeah, from the time that they were really little, they grew up next to each other. Her grandparents had a cottage and his parents had a cottage. And they haven't seen each other since his dad lost his job, and then they lost the cottage. So they never came back again after that. And they haven't seen each other since then. So it's been, I think they said something like 15 years since they'd seen each other. So anyway, her grandparents passed a few years earlier, and they willed her the cottage. So she's been living there full time, and she owns a business making truffles. So she's a chocolatier, I guess you would say. And she has a pretty successful little home-based business, and she's doing pretty good for herself, and she's enjoying living in this cottage. And then Rafe shows up, and the cottage that they used to have, his parents used to have, has gone up for sale, and he went ahead and bought it. So he is up there to kind of renovate it and move in and take the summer to detox from his very stressful job. He's a private investigator. So, of course, when they meet back up again, it's kind of an instant attraction thing, and, you know, they forge a relationship. This entire book takes place over the span of an entire week. And, you know, I don't have a problem necessarily with insta-love or insta-lust, but my issue with this one was the way, for me, the way insta lust or insta love can work. I guess it wouldn't even be insta in that case then, because they would have known each other. But, you know, if they were friends first and then formed that kind of a physical relationship. Now, they kept going on and how they knew each other as children, but it's been 15 years. The person that you knew when you were a child is not the same person you're going to meet as an adult. And this is a big sticking point for me. I'm sorry. I just, the person is a virtual stranger to you, in my opinion. You know, if I think about friends, like if I ran into a friend now that I had first year of high school, let's say at the age of 14 or 15, if I run into them now, I'm not going to know anything about that person. I'm not going to know if that person's trustworthy. I don't know what that person has done in their life since the last time I saw them. They could have been the nicest person in the world, but within that kind of a period of time and how much you grow and how much you change in that time period, yeah, it really bugged me how they kept harping back on the fact that, oh, she could trust him because she knew him. And then his sister came to help him with the house, and she was so thrilled to see her childhood friend, and it was so great. And they were, again, you haven't seen this person in 15 years. I don't know. It really irked on me. I only ended up giving this story 3 stars. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that whole insta-love thing. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I actually do prefer a slower burn romance, just personally. But, you know, I mean, every now and then it has its place. But it just didn't work for me. And I think it more didn't work for me because they kept harping back on their childhood. And, you know, if it had been just 2 strangers meeting, it might have been a little better. I don't know. I don't know what it would have made it better. But I didn't love it. The writing was great. I did like the characters. Individually, Rafe was a great character. Brooke was a great character. I just didn't like the situation. Let's put it that way. I did find her to be, I don't want to use the word naive. She felt that she was always being taken care of. And I don't want to get too much into this because, you know, I like to think this is a more of a family program that everyone can sit with their kids and watch. So I'm going to try and allude to things in case you've got little ones in the room that are, you know, doing their own thing. But they kept talking about the physical relationship and how he prefers it to be a little bit more 50 Shades. Something that we all might know the reference to. So that's what it was alluded to, that this is what he was kind of into. And he was afraid that she was such a good girl and a girl next door that this wouldn't interest her and he didn't want to be rough with her or anything like that. And then when it finally came out what it actually was, considering the amount of certain books like this that I have read, it was tame. I'm like, really? For those of you who have read this book, Mandy, I'm looking at you if you're watching this. Like, really? And I'm not, each to their own, you know, I'm not judging anybody else, but they made such a big deal out of it. It made it sound like he was Christian Grey and that, you know, this was what he was into. And in reality, it was just like, yeah, okay. All right, whatever. Each to their own. You do you. I'll, you know, whatever. But yeah, that kind of made me laugh. So, but anyway, yeah. So I finished that one today. And I think that's my 23rd book for the year so far. So that's not too shabby. I think I'm actually 2 books ahead of schedule right now. I was looking at Goodreads when I was updating it tonight. So I started Rhythm, Chord, and I want to say Michaela, I think it is. It's actually one of the main characters' last name. His name is Sasha, and that's his last name. And this is by Mariana Zapeta, and I'm listening to this on audio, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm about 40% of the way through it. I got a good chunk of this listened to today when I was sitting, tearing out and re-knitting on the shawl 6 times. And it is about a woman by the name of Gabby, and this is a new adult romance. And she is kind of between jobs. She broke up with her ex a little while ago. She's back living at home. And her brother is in a moderately successful rock band. And I do enjoy the fact that they're not like some big famous rock band. They're like moderately successful. They have their core legion of fans. You know, they kind of sing at these festivals and things like that. And over the course of the next 3 months over the summer, they need someone to sell their merch or their merchandise, t-shirts and hats and CDs and things like that. And she's done this before. She did it a couple years ago. So because they kind of wanted her to do this, they invited her along. And she kind of hemmed and hawed, and it's her twin brother and his friends who have this band. And so she agrees to go out on tour with them and sell the merchandise, which I think is kind of a fun little twist. And she ends up meeting Sasha. And Sasha is the lead singer of the slightly more famous band. Again, not a huge famous band. And I like how they do explain in the book that just because these bands don't have a lot of airplay and they're not known by the general public and stuff like that, like by everybody, they're still in their own way, have their own, like they're successful, right? And I really like that. I just think that's a lot of fun because so many rock star romances tend to make the band like larger than life. Like they're the next Queen or the next Aerosmith or the next, whoever. And, where these guys are just kind of having fun and they're playing these festivals and things. I really like it. I think it's very refreshing. So, the Sasha guy is the lead singer for this other band. And right now, like I said, at 40% of the way through this, there's no relationship that's really started. The two of them are just friends. It's a flirty kind of friendship. She kind of thinks he's cute. And, so I don't know. I was kind of skimming through the reviews because I'm thinking, well, is this actually a romance or is it just... And people have commented that the lack of the romance, if you're coming into this expecting some hot, steamy, whatever, it's really not there. And I'm kind of really liking it. It's refreshing that they don't have to do that. That it can just be this fun, flirty relationship. So I'll report back. I'll finish it tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know, what the steam factor in this book was if it's something that you're interested in reading. Now, it is crude. It's this adult, it seems to almost be more about the adult relationship. And when I say adult, I mean like for your age group, as adults being friends with your siblings. Do you know what I mean? Like her and her brother mercilessly tease each other. It's a lot of bathroom humor, but it's kind of fun and I am enjoying it. And what else did I read today? Oh, the only other thing that I got any reading done on today was A Temporary Courtship by Jenna Mandel. This is the third book in the Maple Springs series. It is a Harlequin or love-inspired novel. And this is about, what's our main character's name? I'm drawing a blank. I've read so many characters' names are running through my head right now. Bree. Her name is Bree, and his name is Derek. And her parents, I thought she lived in Maple Springs, but no, I was confused when I talked about this in my last vlog. Her parents rent a cottage in Maple Springs, and it's very, very far north in Michigan, like borderline on the Canadian border. And so they rent this cottage for the summer, and she's staying with them over the summer before she starts a new job in Seattle in about a month. And she meets Derek, and Derek is a local, and he had a bad falling out with his ex-girlfriend, like 2 years earlier. And since then, he's kind of kept to himself. He doesn't go into town very often and things like this. And, him and Brie have started talking, and I guess now he's thinking, I'm about 27 or 28% of the way through this. He's thinking about actually having a relationship with her over the month that she's there, because it will be short-term because she will be leaving. And it's not that kind of a relationship because this is a love-inspired book, which is an inspirational romance. So there's going to be no adult content. This isn't going to be a physical relationship. It's going to literally be, let's hang out for a month. And, go fishing and go to the movies and things like that. So, like as the title suggests, a temporary courtship. So he's essentially going to be courting her for this month that she's in town. So far I'm really enjoying it. I like both of the characters. Derek is very much a country guy. I don't agree with this on principle, but I understand. He's a hunter. Whatever he hunts and kills, he does eat. It talks. And sorry, the cutoff to remind me to take my meds. Do that as soon as I'm done here, me and the cat. And gotta give the cat his meds too. And she's a city girl, and she, born and raised in the city. She's never fired a gun, which I don't necessarily think is a life skill personally. Guns are not for fun. They are for bad things. They are to kill things. Again, personal belief, sorry, if you do or do not agree with me. But yeah, so it's going to be a cute kind of opposites attract, I think. So I'm really enjoying it. But anyway, guys, I have been rambling on enough. I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Sunday, January the 27th, and it's about 10:45 at night. I am getting ready to head off to bed, so I thought I would stop in and say hello and give you guys an update on my reading and my day and stuff like that. So I went to bingo with Mom today, as usual. It's Sunday, and we won a little bit, and so that was kind of nice. I came home, and I had meant to do this on Friday after work. I meant to do this yesterday, and it didn't slip my mind. It was always in the back of my mind that I needed to do it. So, but, I am the queen of procrastination. I will be completely honest with you guys. It is a fault of mine big time. When it comes to things like this, when it comes to very important things like work-related things, or, having to get doctor's appointments done and stuff like that, those things I don't procrastinate on. But when it comes to things like writing, up that review for my blog or filming a video, I know I need to do it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I just procrastinate. And so I got that done. I had everything all prepared for it. It was just the fact of sitting down and actually doing it. So, that's not such a big deal. And actually, it was relatively, I was saying to my husband, I feel like I'm actually getting a bit better at them. I can sit down here and talk to you guys and have no problem in it. These are pretty much unscripted, unedited. This is just me. And I'm not saying that those videos are scripted, because they're not. It's still me just talking freely. I do have notes, and I kind of go over in my head a number of times what I want to say. I don't want to stumble, and I don't want them, to be horribly long, or, you know what I mean? Like this, like losing my train of thought kind of an idea. So, but yeah, I guess maybe I'm getting better at them. And I'm still enjoying doing them, of course. So, speaking of, have you guys seen? She always falls over. That's Sarah from Labyrinth. Pretty sure she's drunk. Every time I sit down here, or so, she falls over. She's very top heavy. I mean, it's a Funko Pop. They are top heavy. But if you guys did not watch my video on Read Bliss of the care package that I got in the mail, I got this awesome, awesome mug. So isn't that cool? So I had it up here for the video. I don't know, I want to use it, obviously, but we don't have a dishwasher, so it's kind of hard to get these white enamel very clean. Like, even when you hand wash them, they still tend to get stained. Dishwashers do a brilliant job of cleaning that, but we don't have one. But I know that I think it's dishwashing liquid. Even if you use it without the dishwasher, it does a really brilliant job of cleaning these. So I do want to use it because it's a great big size mug, and I just love that. So yeah, so I don't think I've ever shown you guys that. And I also got a baseball cap. It's up here. So yeah, so if you guys have not watched that video, I will leave it linked in the description box below. It was the unboxing of the loveliness that the girls at Read Bliss sent me for Christmas. So, and it was on the Read Bliss channel, which is why, you may or may not have seen it on this channel. So, that was my day today. I unfortunately also did a lot of reverse knitting today. The shawl that I was working on that I showed you guys on Saturday, or yesterday, I kind of ripped it out. Because, not that I wasn't happy with it, I'm kind of loving the colors and stuff like that, but, excuse me for yawning, but it's not you, it's me. I assure you. I really, really messed up on the stitch count on it, and I didn't know how to fix it. And I tried to just pull back, go back to where I was, and it was a whole thing. I'm not very far. I got maybe a row more than what I showed you guys on Saturday, so I plan on picking that back up tomorrow night. I'm just too tired tonight to do it. And like I said, tonight was kind of filled with, I was actually updating the blog tonight. I was doing my Sunday post. This one was a little bit longer than normal because I had a lot of ebooks that I bought this week. So if you guys are ever interested to see what, how my weeks, just a little short, you guys know how my weeks go. You watch my vlogs. It's a very short little snippet. And then I always list in there, all the reviews that went up on the blog that week, what's coming in the next week, and what new ebooks I bought. So, by the time you see this, I will have already posted my very first, used book haul for 2019. So, those on this channel will be like the used book hauls, but on the blog, because I do buy so many ebooks, it's just easier for me to list them there. So, I'm getting rambly. Let's get into the books that I finished today, or that I read today. I did finish a book. I finished Rhythm Chord, and I want to say Michaela, but that's not how it's pronounced. I do apologize. When I heard it said a couple times in the book, I actually paused the audiobook and listened to it and repeat it to myself several times, but I still can't. It's a last name, so I do apologize. This was a cute story. I think I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. To be honest, it's not much of a romance. I was under the impression that this author, this is Mariana Zapata, was a very, very spicy new adult author. And there wasn't a lot of adult content in this book. It was a great, romance between these two people. It was a lot of flirting, a lot of that. I really thought it was cute. I didn't dislike it for Um, my one thing that I didn't like about it is that I found it was very immature humor throughout the whole book. And I'm just not into the whole immature humor thing. Fart jokes and I don't want to generalize, but like teenage boy, younger boy humor, toilet humor, if you will. And yeah, I could have done without it. The two siblings, Gabby and, oh, what's the brother's name? I can't remember her brother's name now, but he's in the band. I mentioned this, I talked about this book yesterday, what the premise of it is. And the two of them had this banter back and forth. That was a great relationship that they had. You can obviously see that they cared about each other, but they spent most of the book making fun of each other and very crude comments. And I know I have a younger brother, and he's 3 years younger than I am. And, I've always teased him relentlessly, but we've never gone to that. I don't understand it. I just, maybe I guess there are people like that, but that's just not the sibling relationship that I have, where I feel the need to constantly make fun of him. It just seems, or vice versa. It just seems kind of odd to me. You know what I mean? But hey, everybody shows their affection differently, I suppose. So this was a good book. It's available as part of the Audible Romance package, so if you're interested, give it a check out. I did not get much reading done today outside of that audiobook. I read another couple chapters of A Temporary Courtship by Jenna Mandel. Talked about this one yesterday, so I won't get into it again today. And I read a couple more chapters of Corporate Affair by Stephanie James. Sorry, I was just looking over at the book over there so I could get the title and stuff correct for you guys. I am slated to finish that one tomorrow. I'm on page 105 or 106 or something like that. There's only like 100 and... No, I've got to be further than that. I can't remember where I am in that book. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. I'm pretty much about 80 or 90% of the way done it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's about a woman who, I don't think I've mentioned this yet. This is my 40 Years of Harlequin project book. I wish I had it in my hand to show you guys. I do apologize. She has come to Denver, Colorado to get revenge on her ex, who dumped her after her father passed away, because he was engaged to her. She thought it was because, of course, that he loved her, but he was actually engaged to her because he wanted to take over her father's company. And then when her father died, I guess they left the company to a board of directors. And so she wasn't, she worked for the company, but she's not a primary shareholder or a primary person in the company. So he dumped her right, after they found this out. And her great revenge, which I have to laugh at, is that she, lured him out to dinner, and he's married. So, and pretty much is going to profess that, oh, I miss you and I kind of want you back and things like this. And then she's going to get him to pretty much say, oh, I'm going to leave my wife and I love you and all these things. And I'm thinking, oh, are you going to get it on tape? Because that would be great. But no, she doesn't mention that at all. She's just going to tell him, she's pretty much just going to laugh at his face. That's boring. At least get it on tape and show it to his wife or something, that would be so much better. But when she shows up in this town to talk to him, she ends up running into this guy who owns a gallery. And his name is Rand. And he owns a gallery and he's a fisherman. So, good combo. And the two of them kind of start a relationship. So the story kind of goes from there. It's cute. I like it. I like I said, I'll finish it off tomorrow. Really, really easy read. The author, Stephanie James, this is the very first Desire novel. But Stephanie James is one of her pen names. She also goes by the name that a lot of you might know of, Jane Ann Krantz. So, and she has several pseudonyms that she writes under. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, the writing is great. And yeah, so anyway, guys, that is about it. A little bit more of a rambly clip. I do apologize. I was trying to keep these. The last few weeks, I've been pretty good about keeping the blog or the vlog like right around an hour and a half ish. Let's see if we can do that this week. Anyway, guys, I will let you go and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Monday, January the 28th, and it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. And yes, I am coming to you a little bit earlier than I normally am. And where am I? I'm at home, if you can't tell. Standing in my room, actually. Today has been an interesting day so far. It was bitterly cold this morning when I left, but it was bright and sunny. And I knew that they were calling for snow today, but I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to start tonight. Like, you know, the overnight, like, actually start, like, during rush hour and stuff like that. And then I heard on the radio that, no, it was actually supposed to start early this afternoon, like, before lunch. So I got to work, and my coworker and I were talking, and we're like, oh, you know, what do you want to do? And I'm like, it was still bright and sunny out. And I'm like, you know, it's a meteorologist. It's the only job that you can be wrong all the time and still keep your job. So we kind of decided, you know, we'll play it by ear and see what it looks like. It's like 11:30, 11:45 hits, and we could see that it was already starting. And it was not looking good. The roads were already looking bad, so we made the executive decision to each go home to our respective homes and work from home for the rest of the afternoon. So I've also got my laptop on me in case tomorrow's drive-in is bad. Because if it is, instead of fighting for 2 hours in traffic to get to work, it's just easier if I just log into my computer and I can start working like earlier than normal. I do have a dentist appointment tomorrow afternoon too, and then I'm off on Wednesday. So chances are I might not even be back in the office until Thursday, but of course I'll still be working. And I've been working away pretty much for the whole afternoon, but I'm here to do a little update for you guys because I wanted to show you guys the snow. Because it does look pretty, and I don't have to go back out in it, which makes me super happy. But yeah, so I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys out the window. But I will give you guys another update later, a reading update later. So talk to you then. Bye. So this is what it currently looks like outside. I am actually going to have to go and move my vehicle. You probably can't tell, but towards the far right-hand side, there is, let me see if I can focus it. There is a gray car, and then there's you can see the back end I've pulled in forward. It's like an orange looking car. That's mine. I have been home for about 2 hours. So yeah, so it is falling like crazy. It is super duper pretty, but yeah, that's not my normal parking spot. That's the visitors parking actually. I usually just park in there when I know I have to run back out within 2 or 3 hours. And, but I was going to go out later to the post office because I have to pick up Garrett's birthday present. But I might just save that for tomorrow. His birthday's not till Wednesday, so it's not that big a deal. But I'm going to play it by ear and see. I don't have far to go, but I don't want to chance it. You know, like you can already see how much snow is on my poor car. But yeah, I mean, it looks super pretty, doesn't it? I absolutely love it. But anyway, yeah, like I said, reading update to come later. So I will talk to you guys then. And all of you in a warm climate where you're not dealing with this, think about all of us up here. Thank you. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, it is about 10 o'clock on Monday night. Little update. I'm just going to show you a quick snow update and then I will get into the reading update for today. So yes, the Christmas lights are up because if it's snowing outside, you gotta have the Christmas lights on. It just looks pretty. But anyway, so I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you guys the amount of snow we've had so far. And it's supposed to snow for the rest of the night, like overnight. And then, so I think tomorrow will probably end up being a working from home day, but we shall see. So hold on, I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay guys, I don't know how well you can see this. This is from my front window. There's the big kind of like bush thing in front. There's our like little lawn area, I guess, if you want to call it that. But if you see the snow plow and you look at the car to the left of it, do you see the snow is almost up to the plate? Now, a lot of it is blowing and the snow plow did come through, a number of hours ago. So yeah, still snowing, but it does look so pretty. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of snow. I will update you guys again tomorrow. So, hi guys. So you've seen the snow day, the blizzard of January 2019, essentially. Yeah, it's unpleasant outside. I think I had mentioned earlier that I had parked my car out front. Garrett and I decided not to go anywhere. We were going to go drive just down the street and actually just pick up like subs for dinner or something like that, because it's just feeling like one of those lazy days. And then we both kind of decided, no, we shouldn't. No sense in going out in the roads unless you absolutely have to. So I ended up having soup and a grilled cheese sandwich for dinner, which was super duper yummy. I just love simple meals like that for dinner. And I went out and moved the car, and yeah, it was unpleasant outside. And like I literally drove it around the building to the back to where my parking spot is. And yeah, I'm glad. I wouldn't have wanted to be out on the roads after I did that. So, but yeah, so reading update for today. I did get a bit of reading done today. I didn't get as much read in my audiobook as I wanted to because, you're kind of out of your element when you're not in your normal swing of things, like with the fact I came home, at lunchtime and worked from home for the rest of the afternoon. I did get a lot done. I left, like when I actually worked later than I normally would. And I've said this before, I think it's because I'm already at home, that when you're at the office, it's like 5 o'clock hits, it's like, oh, I just want to get home. But since I was already at home, it was kind of like, oh, I'll answer a few more emails and try and clean these up so that way tomorrow morning when I log on, it's not as bad. So that was kind of nice, actually. So I left with like maybe 2 or 3 emails in my inbox that can be looked at tomorrow, no big deal. And yeah, so the audiobook that I'm currently listening to is, I think it's called Playing with Fire, but it's by Gina Showalter, and it is book number 1 in the Extraordinary Girl series. I am really liking this one. I am about 30% of the way through it or so, I think. I don't know. I didn't really look. But it's about a woman who, by the name of Belle, who is working kind of dead-end jobs, but she's taking care of her father. Her father has had some cardiac issues, and he lives in an assisted living facility. Not a home, like he's not confined to a bed, and he's not sick like that, but he needs to be looked after, like kind of under a lot more supervision than she can give him, let's put it that way, making sure his medicines are being taken and things like that. So she's kind of looking after him, so she's just trying to work to make enough money to, pay for this facility as well as, her own day-to-day living. And she works in a coffee shop, and she's very sarcastic. The story is told in first person, and she's working this one day, and this man, there's this nondescript kind of abandoned-looking brownstone building across the street from the coffee shop she works at. And she's on her break the one day, and she's looking out the window, and this guy scientist, like in the white lab coat, the whole 9 yards, comes running out of the building being chased by these 2 other people. And he runs into the coffee shop, and he spies her, and they kind of like lock eyes. And he runs over to her and says, I need your help, things like that. So she's like, are you okay? Is somebody trying to hurt you? And he says, if they catch me, they're going to kill me. And she's like, well, wait here. I'm going to go use the phone in the back. So she goes to call 911. And she hears this ruckus from out front. When she runs back out front, the entire front of the coffee shop is destroyed. Like, tables are turned over, and there's messes, like a tornado blew through, essentially. So then this man comes in, and he says he's CIA, and have you seen this scientist guy, and all these things. And so they start questioning her because she's actually the only one in the coffee shop who actually spoke to him. And as she's sitting there, she realizes that the table that she'd been sitting at is the only one that's still standing, and everything's okay. And that the latte that she was drinking is like unharmed. So she sits down to answer their questions, and she starts drinking this drink. So then she ends up going for this other job interview, and while she's there, she feels really out of it. She's in a lot of pain, like her whole body hurts. It's horrible. She finally gets herself home, and she's laying in bed. She thinks she's going to die. She's in that much pain, and she just thinks, I have to call a doctor, but she can barely even lift her hand up to grab a phone, much less, make the phone call, if you will. So, and then the story kind of goes from there. There's this guy who shows up at her apartment, and it turns out that she has now superpowers, and she can control the 4 elements. Now, this is totally out of my normal wheelhouse of books that I would typically read. I am not a huge fan of paranormal romance, if you guys know me. But this one, I am really enjoying it. I mean, I like Gina Showalter's writing to begin with. I have not read her paranormal before. This is my first kind of delve into these books of hers. I have read her contemporaries, and I really, really like them. But this one, it's just something about the storyline. It's something about the characters. I really adore Belle. She is, like I said, so witty and so sarcastic and so, you know, just that kind of personality, and I really, really like it. So, yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. Tomorrow is the 29th, and that leaves 3 days left for this month, and I have this book to finish, and I have one more audiobook to finish before the end of the month. So I am hoping I can get this one done tomorrow. That's kind of my goal. But we shall see. Like I said, I'll be at home. You know, the phones, knock on wood, haven't been so bad over the last few days. So I'm thinking I can just probably plug in my audiobook and just listen to it throughout the day and get it done for tomorrow. So yeah, because I really want to finish the story. It's really good. My current ebook is A Temporary Courtship by Jenna Mandel. I talked about this one yesterday, about a couple who, she's only living in town for like a month. She's there vacationing with her family, and then she's going to head out on a scholarship, not a scholarship, but a job she got to work with a composer. She plays the cello, and the guy that she kind of falls for, and it's really, really cute. I really am enjoying it. It's kind of, they're very different personalities, to like very different types of people, like city girl, country boy kind of an idea, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm actually almost done. I'm at about 85% of the way through it, so I will definitely get that one done tomorrow, and then I only have one more ebook to finish before the end of the month, and that is another NetGalley read, so very excited about that. Did I mention to you guys that I had removed 2 books from my TBR for January because I knew I wasn't going to get to them. The month was cutting short, but that's okay. I always say, like, I have a very structured TBR, but I have enough wiggle room with books in there that aren't books that I absolutely have to get to, so I can remove books if need be. One of the books that I took out was for oh, there goes the snowplow, was unfortunately for the Audible category challenge, the political one. I'm gonna try and fit it in. What I'm gonna do for stuff like that is I'm gonna make a list and put the books that I don't get to in a certain month to the side, like start a list of the ones I can't get to. And then when if I get to a point in a month where, you know, I got a lot of reading done and I have something and I'm looking for something else to read, I can go to that list and pick up one of those books. So that's kind of my game plan. But that was the audiobook that I'm not going to get to, the one by Julie James, which I'm disappointed because it's a really good series. But you know what? You run out of time, right? There's only so many hours in a day, and, you know, and that's okay. I have longer TBRs. I, you know, read a lot. And the other book that I removed, I cannot remember what the ebook was, but there was an ebook that I removed as well. But that's, again, that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. So, oh, and I finished a book today. I just looked down at it and went, oh, I finished a book. Today I finished reading Corporate Affair by Stephanie James. I enjoyed this one. Again, I talked about it yesterday. I gave this one 3 stars. This is part of my my 40 Years of Harlequin project that I'm doing. So this is the book from 1982, I think. 1982, yes. And it's Jane Ann Krantz. I think I talked about this in another video, that this author goes by several pseudonyms, and one of them is Jane Ann Krantz, that a lot of you might be familiar with. I really liked it. I liked the writing. I liked the characters. There are a few love scenes in this book, if you will, that some people nowadays might find the consent to be questionable. I mean, there was one scene towards the beginning that I was getting a little uncomfortable with, because he was really pushing her, and she kind of kept shaking her head at him, and she didn't actually come out and say no, but we all know that pretty much, you know, regardless, shaking your head or whatever, you've got to be watching what your partner is doing, essentially. But then at one point he stops and looks at her and goes, oh, you're being serious? And she's like, yes, I am. And he immediately backs off. So, you know, I mean, I'm not forgiving it. Guess what, guys? It's 10:15. Time to take my pills. So anyway, that's, you know, if I had to find flaw with it, I mean, I only gave it 3 stars. It's not one of the best books I've ever read. Not far from one of the worst books I've ever read. But it was enjoyable. And again, this is the whole reason I'm reading all these books, you know, because I'm loving watching the progression. Very forward in, you know, in what I love is that these books give the women the power in a way. Do you know what I mean? they're the ones who are kind of calling the shots in a lot of these books, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so that one was a lot of fun. But anyway, that's about it for today, you guys. You've gotten several extra clips today from me. So, again, snowstorm or blizzard of January 2019. Again, like I said in the last little clip where I just showed you guys the snow, I will update you guys on, tomorrow on what's going on, and I'll kind of show you guys some of the outside. Maybe I'll actually step outside and show you guys, when all is said and done. I do have a dentist appointment tomorrow, yay. So we shall see if I can get out there, because it's about a 20-minute drive. So my plan is to log on a little bit earlier than I normally would. And because I'm working from home, I'm not going to technically take a lunch break. I'll just kind of sit on my couch and work away, and then I'll log off about 3:30 tomorrow afternoon and head off to my dentist appointment. So that's my game plan. But anyway, I will talk to you guys sometime tomorrow. Take care, guys. Hi, guys. Bye. It is Tuesday, January the 29th, and it is about 10:30 at night. And I am getting ready to go to bed because I have to be up relatively early. Well, I have to really be up early. I have to be out the door early tomorrow. I am off work tomorrow, but unfortunately it's because I have to go to the hospital. Boo! I have an appointment. I have a couple of appointments, so it's not anything major. I have to see my one doctor, my endocrinologist, my thyroid doctor. So I see her at 9 a.m. So I'm going to be leaving the house at about 7 because I don't know what traffic's going to be like. And I like to get there and get a decent parking spot. I'm still going to pay through the nose, but that's besides the point. And then I have a test scheduled for 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to be there for most of the morning. But I should be done, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, by like 12:30. And then I can make my way home. And then tomorrow night, Garrett and I are going for dinner with my parents and my aunt for his birthday, because it's somebody's birthday tomorrow. Some old guy is turning older. He's not listening to me. So that's the plans for tomorrow. So I was just sitting here and I was actually editing my my February TBR video. I just have to do the thumbnail for it. That will go up on Thursday. I mean, you guys it will be up before this video goes up, so you will have already seen it. Now, I'm going to mention a couple things. I didn't do it in that video because I filmed my entirety of my TBR, and I had 26 books on my TBR for February, which is pretty much the norm, 25, 26, with the challenges and stuff that I do. So today, I got an email from Harlequin, or from Read Bliss, Harlequin for their Read Bliss channel, for a video that they want me to do in March, and I'm super duper excited. And I'm going to be reading some extra books in February that I did not know about, which is fine. These are like not even released yet. They're advanced reader copies. I'm super excited about it. But I started looking at my TBR and going, okay, February's only got 28 days. And then I started kind of reevaluating the way that not the way I do my TBR, because I like the way I do my TBR, but some of the challenges that I'm doing. So I'm actually going forward, I've actually edited them out of this video, my TBR video, but I don't discuss it because I just took them out. But, I may mention them in March. I don't know if I get questions about it or anything at all like that, I'll mention it. But pretty much, two of the personal challenges that I was doing, well, sort of personal, one was a group challenge, I'm actually decided to omit because, I don't want to overload myself too much. And part of the reason why I stopped doing a lot of extra challenges, like other challenges in other groups in 2019, was so I could read more off of my TBR, like my want to read list on Goodreads. So one of the challenges that I'm going to be taking off is the like the backlist, like the series backlist, series I'm working my way through. I am doing the Stacking the Series challenge, so I'm going to be finishing series this year. So what I'm going to try and do is, as I'm building my TBRs, is try and pull as much as I possibly can from series that I'm already reading. So I do that anyway, so there's kind of no point in me adding the extra challenge, if you will, to be pulling these books. The other one I'm actually omitting is a group challenge, and I know a lot of people are excited about it because it is a lot of fun, and that's the Kindle Unlimited challenge. To pull 2 Kindle Unlimited books every month and read them. I'm actually reading through Kindle Unlimited books anyway because Right now I'm working my way through the Alphabet Bride series. And then what I thought about is that what I'm going to do is perhaps just start keeping a list of series available on Kindle Unlimited that I want to read. And, you know, when I'm done a series, like the Alphabet Brides is going to take me a while, probably a good chunk of this year. And then when I'm done that, I will just randomly pick another series from that list and work my way through that one. So I just thought that that would kind of be a little bit more fun instead of adding the extra books on and you know, making myself not feel stressed, but, well, yeah, no, not stressed, because it doesn't, books and reading is not stressful. It should not be stressful. But you know, like not feeling like I have to get through these books because I mention them. I think that's part of my reasoning. You know, not that anyone's ever done it to me. Like I've never had you had this book on your TBR, but you didn't actually read it. You know, nothing like that has ever happened. But, you know, life happens and, you know, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Let's put it that way. And I want to leave room in case, you know, authors or publishers or somebody, my hope, to come to me and say, hey, we'd love for you to review this book, and to be able to have the time to do it, essentially. So that's my game plan. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that real quick. It really doesn't matter. It just so happens it's because I'm editing or exporting right now that video to go up on Thursday. So anyway, the other thing today that happened, non-bookish related, is I got my new glasses. I got the call this afternoon from Walmart telling me that my glasses were in. Now, I got 2 pairs of glasses. I talked about this in a vlog a couple weeks ago, and I'm super excited. These are the first new glasses I've had in 10 years. Yes, my prescription has changed, but it hasn't really been that noticeable to me until up until the last few months. And I've been hearing from a lot of different people that your eyes really do change when you turn 40, and I'll be 40 in about a month. So I noticed, like, sitting on the couch at night, our TV is across the room, and we've got the cable box, if you will, and it's got the time on it. I've had to squint to be able to see the time. So I know that, you know, obviously, you know, my eyes are changing a lot, and I needed new glasses. So I just finally bit the bullet and said, okay, let's get them. So Walmart was having a deal where it's like 2 pairs for $170. I had to pay a bit more to get the anti-glare and the blue light filter or blue light protection or something like that, like for looking at computer screens. And I mean, I spend all day looking at a computer or my cell phone or my Kindle. So, you know, it's kind of nice to have it. So I'm a dum-dum. And I was over at my aunt's on my way. After I picked up my glasses, I stopped at my aunt's house for a quick little visit, and I was showing them to her. I accidentally left a pair at her house. So my one pair is at my aunt's house. She's going to bring them to me tomorrow because I'm going to see her tomorrow for Garrett's dinner. So I will show them to you tomorrow. But these are the other pairs. I thought I'd show them to you guys. I really, really like them. Sorry, this is why I don't wear glasses in videos, is because you can see my cell phone in the lens. What do you guys think? Aren't they cute? I really, really like them. They're a lot bigger than my old ones. My old ones were like smaller and square, but I feel I look very intelligent in these. I need all the help I can get most days, people. But they're really cute. Like, they're really purple, like on the inside, and they are purple, like, see, they've got like that design there and stuff. I just thought that they were super cute. So the other pair, like I said, I'll show them to you guys tomorrow, are more just plain, like they don't have this design. There is a design here and along here, but they're just plain black. But I wanted something kind of fun too, because it's fun to have a fun pair of glasses. If you have to wear them every day, you should make them enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so I'm just going to wear these for the rest of the video. I'm still trying to get used to them. I predict tomorrow I will have a headache, which is typically, you know, a lot of people say that after they get new glasses. And I noticed it tonight a little bit, like my eyes are really tired right now. So yeah. But reading update for today. I did not finish Playing with Fire by Gina Showalter as I had hoped I would. The phones, I did work from home today because of the snow. Oh, I didn't get an updated picture of the snow for you guys. I'll try and do that tomorrow. But anyway, I did not finish it as I thought because the phones were really busy. And email was busy, and I was listening to it this morning when it was a little bit quieter. But then, because I didn't have my commute into work and back today because I was already here, I lost some reading time, some audiobook reading time. So I will get a lot tomorrow because, like I said, I have to go downtown to the hospital. And that trip on a good day is an hour each way. So I predict, traffic. I will get it done tomorrow. That's my goal. And I'm hoping to start my final audiobook of the month. I only have like a day and a half or 2 days left to finish 2 audiobooks, but I should be okay with that. I'm hoping. So anyway, I'm still really enjoying it. And yeah, like I was saying, I was like answering emails and stuff, and I was listening to the audiobook, and I just found that I was like, wait, what just happened? Kind of an idea. So like I knew my brain was using all of its capabilities to answer emails and not listening to the book. So I had to, put it away. But yeah, so I am still enjoying it. My ebook that I finished today, I did finish an ebook today, and that was A Temporary Courtship by Jenna Mandel. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. It was super duper cute. I've talked about it over the last 2 days. I'm not going to rehash it again. I really liked it. It was a really cute inspirational romance. What I found and what I liked about it, this is going to sound funny considering it's an inspirational romance, I didn't find it overtly preachy. The characters have their faith, and they go to church and they do pray and stuff like that. But, some of them you can be a little extra on the religious aspect of it. This one was just enough. It was like, the whole Goldilocks and the Three Bears thing, too little, too much, just right. This was just right. So I like that quite a bit. And the only other thing that I had planned on reading today, but I didn't get around to, when I'm heading off to bed in a few minutes, if, you couldn't tell. And I'm going to be reading some more of the Alphabet Brides book, book B that I am reading. I believe I'm about 70% of the way through it. I'm hoping to finish that one tomorrow. I'd really, really like to get that one done tomorrow. But if I am not falling asleep, after a few minutes of reading in bed, I do plan on starting The Coral Sea by Jane Converse. This is my next book in my pick for my 40 Years of Harlequin project. And like I said, I haven't started this yet today. Busy. You like my funky bookmark? Actually, this is from a while ago. I don't know if I've got a lot of new people. But this is a bookmark that my sister-in-law made. She has a Cricut, like to make stuff like this, to do cutouts and paper and stuff like that. And this, we had a memorial. My grandmother passed away last May. The week after Mother's Day, or the 2 weeks after Mother's Day, I can't remember. She was 92, and I miss her terribly still. But my sister-in-law made these, and everybody at the memorial got to take some home. So I actually have one in like every color, and it has her name and her year of birth and death, so 1926 to 2018, and a pretty little like poem about butterflies, because she loved butterflies. So yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm just sharing. That's my cute little bookmark that I'm using. But yeah, anyway, back to the book. I am going to take this with me to the hospital tomorrow. I will have my phone on me. I was going to bring my Kindle, but it's not that it's heavy, but I have to cart around like my running shoes tomorrow and stuff, because the one test I have to have done is actually like on a treadmill. Like they're going to force me to exercise, which is just unpleasant. But sorry. Sound like I'm wheezing, don't I? Okay, there we go. I'm good. I'm thinking about forced exercise, and I'm starting to panic. But I have to carry my shoes on me, and I'm going to probably bring snack and stuff like that, because I'm going to be there for the morning. So I didn't want to carry around my Kindle too and have something happen to it. So I'm going to bring this with me. Nice and light and easy. I can throw it in my purse, and I can sit in the waiting room and wait, because you spend more time waiting in a hospital than anything else. And I'm hoping to get caught up on this to where I need to be, because as you guys can see, I always put my little tabbies in here, so I know how much I have to read every day to finish this in a week. But anyway, that's it, guys. Sorry, these clips have been a little bit longer this week. I've been a little chatty this week, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Wednesday, January the 30th, and it's about 20 after 10 at night. And yes, I am literally laying in bed right now talking to you. I wanted to update you guys on what went down today, or what happened today at the hospital, and of course give you guys a reading update, because I finished 2 books today. But I am too tired to actually hold up the phone at this point to even talk to you. I don't know if you can tell. I can see it in the camera how tired I am. It's been a long, long day, and not the best news in the world today for me, and nothing life-threatening, like nothing like that, but still, I kind of got to get my act together in a way, and I had to deal with a pretty horrific test. Not horrific, but a pretty unpleasant test today, too, so I'm tired from that. Yeah, so let's jump into it. Today's Garrett's birthday on a good note. It's his 43rd, and we went out for dinner tonight with my parents for his birthday, so that was nice, and he got a Amazon gift card from my mom and dad. So he is currently adding to cart on Amazon as we speak to make his purchases. And yeah, so that was the good part of today. So my appointment downtown this morning was at 9 a.m. My first appointment, I had to see my endocrinologist for my thyroid issue that I've been dealing with. The thyroid issue is a result of a cardiac medication that I was put on about 3 years ago. So yay for side effects. So I had to go see her. It's just I check in with her every 6 months. So an endocrinologist also deals with diabetes and stuff like that. So, sorry, pillow. So a couple weeks ago, if you guys were watching my one vlog, I said I had to go get a massive blood work done, and all my results look great. My thyroid is bang on, like the levels that they want me at, which is great. The not so great thing was that I am now pre-diabetic. I am like so borderline for going, I guess, becoming diabetic. She's concerned, and I see her again at the end of July, and she wants those numbers down. So I've pretty much been told I need to start exercising, and I need to start trying to lose a bit of weight. So the gauntlet has been thrown down, in other words. So yeah, I did a lot of thinking on that today and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 40 in like a month. It's time to get my act together. I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to end up with all the health issues I already deal with. I do not need something else added to my plate. And it's something I've needed to do for a long time, and I know that. And I know I'm not heavy. I know I'm not, like she said, it's not a large amount of weight, but with my other health issues, it's a good idea. So I'm going to start with the exercising. I think that is the most important thing, is I need to get active, because I think everything else will start to fall into place once you start doing that. Does that make sense? Like when you're exercising and taking care of yourself and you're feeling better, I'm hoping it's going to help with my sleeping. I'm hoping it's going to help with my stress levels. I've read a lot of studies and a lot of articles and a lot of all kinds of things that say that. And then also I think, like, if you're going to the gym, you're not necessarily going to want to eat crap. You're going to, like, if I'm doing this, I don't want to do this. Does that make sense? So, I'm going to try and start, like, exercising, like, right away. Just kind of walking. I mean, I'm never going to run a marathon. I just, with my cardiac issues, that's not going to happen. Weights are not an option for me either, unfortunately, really. But I can walk, and that's what she said. Walking is the best thing. If you can get out and walk for 20 minutes a day, that's awesome, and it's better than nothing. Like I've seen it on like motivational things and stuff like that says, you walking for 20 minutes or something is you're already outpacing everybody sitting on the couch, kind of an idea. So yeah, so that's something. And then, like I said, you don't want to do everything at once, because then you burn yourself out. So if I start with the exercise and try and work at that, for a couple weeks or so, then I'll start, looking at my eating habits and stuff like that and go from there. But I do need to hold myself accountable. So this is kind of the best thing for me to do. So I mentioned this before, that I was going to try and do this back in November when I was off work on stress leave, but I was dealing with the stress stuff. I was dealing with other crap that I had to deal with, and it wasn't pleasant. So, this kind of fell to the wayside. And then the holidays came, and, it's always one thing after another. There's always an excuse, right, guys? So, I don't know. Do you want me just to, if you guys would be interested in kind of following along with this little journey, that I'm going to go on. It's not a diet. I'm not going on a diet because a diet to me says that there's an end goal. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in my case, I'm looking at this more as being a lifestyle change. So, I don't know. I thought maybe doing a separate little clip on Sundays and just posting them on Sundays, like something that's like 5 minutes long, just to kind of like legitimately, no holds barred, hold myself accountable. This is my current weight. This is what I did this week. This is, like, this is how I did this week. This is, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going to start exercising here at home, but I think I'm best off to join a gym. There is one, there's a company here in Canada called Good Life, and they're a huge, like gym, like across the country. And they have like a no frills gym option, which is another facility called Fit for Less. And they're $10 a month. And literally it is no frills. Like, there are no personal trainers. There are no change rooms. Like, they have bathrooms and they have like stalls that you can change in and stuff like that. They have lockers. So you could go in, change, put your stuff in a locker, go do your thing, and then change before you leave, or just wear your clothes home or whatever. So there's a couple different locations. One's really close to my work, one's on the way home from work, and then one is pretty close to the apartment. So I'm thinking I might go to the one that is on the way home from work, because then I can stop on my way home, or on the weekends if I want to go, I can, it's not far. It's maybe a 10-minute drive. So that's my game plan. That's what I'm thinking. And it literally, as I've been joking with everybody, it's $10 a month to rent a treadmill. Can you guys hear the wind? It's freezing. It is absolutely, it's minus 30 outside right now. So cold today. So anyway, so that's my game plan. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you're interested in seeing it. If you're not, that's why I thought I might tag it on as like a separate little video. Like I said, a little 5-minute video every Sunday or something like that. So those who aren't interested don't have to watch. So that was that. The test was horrible. I've had both of these tests done before separately, but never at the same time. So it is a stress test, an echocardiogram / stress test. So an echocardiogram, in case you don't know what that is a ultrasound of your heart. It's just like you see in the movies, you see, or on TV, people who are having babies have ultrasounds. Exact same idea, but it's for your heart. So, what they do is they get you on the table and they do the ultrasound, and you are hooked up to like wires and all kinds of things and a blood pressure cuff and all this stuff. And then they put you on a treadmill. So like literally the treadmill is like right beside the bed that you would lay on, like the hospital bed. And then they get you on the treadmill, and they, you start off, at a pretty easy clip or a pretty easy pace with a little bit of a grade. And then every 3 minutes they increase the speed and the grade. I got to 9 minutes, so I'm pretty pleased with myself on that one. But literally, as soon as you say, like, you're done, like, you will tell them, like, I can't go anymore. You're breathing, or if you're having, any other issue, then you kind of tell them, and then they stop it, and then you have to lay back down in the bed, and then they quickly take some more images, to see how the heart is working. They want to see essentially how it's working at rest, and then how it's working at being stressed or exercised, essentially. So it's not fun, but it's not painful. But the worst part of it is that they decided, they don't do this every time, but they decided, because my heart anatomy is a little bit different than most people's, that it would be the easiest to take pictures if they use something called a contrast dye. So in other words, they put an IV in before you get on the treadmill, and then when you're ready to come off the treadmill, you kind of let them know, and they inject this dye into your vein, and then they can watch it and get pictures of it moving through your heart. So the girl who was inserting the IV, and I've had about 1 million of them, she decided that it would be fun or it would be easier, because let's be honest, there are, even if you work in a hospital and you know how to do blood, there are some people who are just really good at it, who are really good at doing needles and stuff like that. Unfortunately, this lovely young lady was not. And she tried to go through the vein right here. It still hurts. It's still tender to the touch. She missed. And yeah, it was unpleasant, and I may have jumped a little. So that's probably part of the reason that she missed, but I'm sorry. That is a very painful spot. If you've ever had a needle in your hand or in your wrist, it's unpleasant. So another girl came in and she did it in the crook of my arm, which was fine. The dye stuff doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, it was about an hour and a half that you're in that whole thing. So I'm glad it's done. They of course can't tell you anything because a cardiologist has to look at everything and let you know. But I had a stress test done back in the fall, and the concern was the reason that my doctor wanted me to do this one is because the last one, my heart was a little erratic when I got off the treadmill. Like it would speed up, slow down, and stuff like this. But I could feel it this time, and I could see it on the monitor what my heart rate was doing. And it came down gradually as it's supposed to, and then leveled off. So that's good. And, so hopefully the results will be a lot better than they were before. And the other thing that she's checking for is they're concerned about leakage, that one of the valves might be leaking or something like that. I don't know. I feel fine, and she says it's no great cause for concern, but they want to kind of get a base measurement. So in case something happens, they can say, is it gotten worse or whatever, you know what I mean? So anyway, sorry guys, I've been rambling for 14 minutes. I haven't even started talking about book shit. But that's part of the reason I'm tired. Like I came home from the hospital. I got home about 1:30 this afternoon, and I literally came into the room here and crashed out for like an hour because I was so tired. I didn't have any coffee this morning or anything because they said, try to avoid stimulants before this procedure or before this test. So I was a good girl and I did that. But yeah, so it wasn't the best day ever. It's not really bad news, but it's more a, finger snap in your face kind of an idea to wake up and start doing something about your health. That aspect of my health. I've always been so focused on my cardiac care and stuff like that, not that I forget the fact that, you're putting on a few pounds. And it's funny because I can see it. I can see it when I record videos. I can tell that the first place I see it is in my face, right? And I notice if I've gained weight. So, I know I need to do something about it. So I'm never going to be super slim or super skinny or anything like that. Those days are long gone. I was like that when I was a kid, and it really wasn't healthy. You got to be at a healthy weight. And that's what she pretty much said to me. So anyway, books. I finished 2 books today. The first book that I finished was the second book in the Mail Order Bride series. Belua, I can never say her first name. The picture will be up here somewhere. And I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. Both the characters seem to... So the premise of the story, because I haven't really talked about this one. The Mail Order Bride series, the Alphabet Mail Order Bride series. It's 25 books. Each book follows a different girl whose name starts with a different letter of the alphabet. And they all work at a school in New York. And they are now being sent off to start schools out west and to marry, essentially be mail order brides. So she wants to teach. That's all she wants to do. And she's marrying a guy who just wants children and wants pretty much a wife to stay at home. So the whole book, they're kind of arguing back and forth whether she should be allowed to work outside of the home and what have you. I found both of them to be very pig-headed. Neither one would back down even an inch. And that kind of really bothered me. Like, yes, he may not be right and he should allow you to work, but it's a give and take. Every marriage or every relationship is a give and take. And then on his behalf too, I don't know. I didn't love it. I liked it. It was cute. But yeah, so I got that one done. Like I said, 3 stars. The other book that I finished on my drive home from the hospital was Playing with Fire by Gina Showalter. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I talked about it yesterday. Kind of the premise of it. I really liked it. My one issue with it was that I felt there was now I know Gina Showalter is very, very adult in her writing. And that's fine. But I just felt like it was one of those ones where sometimes it just wasn't needed. Like, did you really need to be having those thoughts? You're in the middle of, fighting off bad guys. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it kind of took away from the story for me a little bit. But I still really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the premise. The writing was great. I love the main character, Belle. She was so sassy and so full of spark and, no pun intended. And, you know, I really liked it. There is a second book in the series, so it's only a duology. So I will eventually get to the second one. And what I'm currently reading, I forgot to mention this one yesterday because I started it yesterday, is Blind Date Bet by Nicole, I want to say Flockton is her last name. This is a NetGalley read, and it is about a man and woman who are literally set up on a blind date. And he is military, and she was married to a gentleman in the military who died. And she has no interest in dating anybody in the military again. She doesn't want to go through that heartbreak again in case it happens, you know, lightning strikes twice kind of an idea. And it's kind of the two of them forging a relationship and her getting over the issues and stuff like that. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 62% of the way through it. It's not a terribly long book. My goal is to finish it tomorrow. And I did start briefly because I finished Playing with Fire pretty early on my drive home. So I started listening to Lone Heart Pass by Jody. Not Jody. Is it Jody? Picture will be up here. I'm sorry. I'm totally blanking on her name. I'm overly tired, you guys. Jodie Foster's an actress. That's not who it is. Is it Jodie Thomas? So anyway, like I said, the picture will be up here. I literally just started this. I don't have much information on it. I know it's part of the Ransom Canyon series. So that book and the Blind Date Bet book, I'm planning to finish tomorrow because they're the last two books I need to finish for January. And tomorrow is the 31st. So yay. But anyway, guys, that is it. I will let you guys go. I've rambled on enough. This is going to be a longer vlog, I can already tell. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It's Thursday, January the 31st, and it's about 9:15 at night. Coming to you with a I'm going to try and make it a quick update tonight. I'm exhausted again. I'm just playing catch up this week, it feels like. I messaged my husband today when I was at work, and I just said, I'm just so tired. I really need to try and get some good sleep this weekend because this is ridiculous. I should not be this tired. There's no reason why. The one thing I have noticed that I forgot, that I've been forgetting over the last week or so, and this is probably contributing to it, is that my multivitamins that I take every day, I've been forgetting to take my B12. So I know that the whole reason I was put on the B12 in the first place is because I was exhibiting years ago this really tired behavior, and my doctor tested me, and she said, like, just some people, their bodies don't absorb it, so I need to take it via a pill. So I gotta remember to do that. I was just sitting here thinking, okay, as soon as I'm done this little recording, I'm gonna go and fill my pill container. I have like one of those daily pill containers that has the days of the week on it, and so that way I know with my medication to make sure that I've taken it. It's just an extra reminder for me. So I gotta do that when I'm done here. But anyway, we're not gonna yap in this one. We're not gonna waffle in this one because this is going to be an extremely long vlog already, I have a feeling. And when I'm done this, I'm gonna plop myself down, do a little bit of knitting on my sweater, and I'm gonna watch Karen because there's a Karen vlog next in my queue and I can't wait. So anyway, books today, reading today. I finished 2 books, guys. My January reading is done. I finished 30 books in the month of January. Pretty gosh darn good. I'm pretty pleased with that, honestly. So yeah. First book I finished was Blind Date Bet by Nicole Flockton. This is the first book in the Man's Best Friend series, I think it is. This was a NetGalley read for me. So it was a review book. 3.5 stars. It was a cute contemporary romance. I liked it, but it wasn't something that's going to be overly memorable. It's not something that I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, you got to run out and read it. It was cute. If you like military romance, I definitely recommend that you check it out. It does have areas where it gets spicy, but it's not overtly graphic or overtly out there. So the story is about our 2 main characters. Her name is Isabel. I can't remember his. Something, is it Derek? Derek Masters, I think is his name. Very romance-esque. And he is a dog trainer, or he works with dogs in the military. And her first husband, or her husband, passed away. So she's a widow. And he was in the army, or in the military, excuse me. And he died several years prior to the book beginning. And the 2 of them get set up together on a blind date. And when she realizes what he does, she turned tail and ran because she wanted nothing more to do with anybody in the military. Her father's a military man, and with her husband dying, it just wasn't interested to her. But then she finally gets up the nerve and decides, okay, maybe I'll give this guy a try because he was pretty cute and he seemed okay. So then they start seeing each other, and then the story goes from there. So I understood her reasoning as to stay away from somebody doing that profession. I get it. If you had a spouse who was a firefighter or a cop, and that person, something happened to them, it would make you gun shy for somebody who works in that profession, and I totally get it. But it just seemed like sometimes it was a little bit too much of she annoyed me just a tad, to be blunt about it. The other thing was, you see on the cover, I've got the cover put up here, along with the title of the series, like Man's Best Friend. Oh, it's got dogs in it. The dog played such a small role in this book. That was really disappointing to me. I wanted more of the dog. Like, I didn't want the book to be all about the dog, but there was only like a handful of scenes that the dog was in. If you're going to do a book that's got a dog on the cover and the title of the series is something to do with a dog, then you need to feature the dog more. So that was a bit of a disappointment. The other book that I finished today was Lone Heart Pass by Jodie Thomas. This is the third book in the Ransom Canyon series. Listen to this one on audio. And I gave this one 3.5 stars too. I like this one. It was a cute story. Again, if you're reading the series, I absolutely recommend that you, if you aren't reading the series, I recommend that you pick up the series. It's really fun. It's very tame. How do I put this? There's adult content in the fact that they talk about certain things, but nothing actually happens on the page. I was going to say on camera, on the page. This was a nice story. It was about a woman by the name of Jubilee, which kind of love her name. And his name is Charlie. Our main male lead is Charlie. But of course, as per usual with Jodie Thomas, there's a few different storylines running through this book. And Jubilee has just moved to town because she inherited her great-grandfather's house, or his ranch. She's never ranched a day in her life. So she hires a local guy by the name of Charlie to help her out, to bring the ranch back, because it had been abandoned for quite some time after her great-grandfather passed away. So, two of them working together, of course, they form a relationship. Along with this, in the town, you run back into characters you've met over the first couple books. The local sheriff and his daughter, who's last year of college now. And there's a dead body that's kind of found in the canyon. So there's this whole there's a whole suspenseful element happening in the book. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The narration on it was great. Again, not oh my gosh, this book was amazing, but highly enjoyable, and I do recommend it. The only other thing I am reading right now is The Coral Sea by Jane Converse. That's in my room. I am going to go to bed soon, and I'm going to read that for a bit before bed. And yeah, that's the only book I have right now on my currently reading on Goodreads. I haven't started any of the new books for February yet. I'm going to start them tomorrow. Not that, I don't mind starting them before the beginning of the month, but it's 9:30 at night. I'm not about to start a brand new book right now because I know me and I might just keep myself awake. So you'll hear about my beginning of my February books tomorrow. Anyway, guys, that is it for this clip right now. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Friday, February the 1st, and it is about 11:15 at night. I am exhausted. I am getting ready to go to bed. I was just up chatting with my friends for most of the night, so that was super fantastic. Haven't done that in a little while. I am actually drinking some tea. I haven't really been sharing my tea with you guys that I've been drinking, but I am in my cold 911 mug from David's Tea. I am drinking cold 911 tea. I feel okay, I'm tired, but I haven't been sleeping the greatest over the last few days, so this stuff is really good to help me sleep. My nose, if you can't tell, I feel okay, but I really look like I'm coming down with something. I had a half an hour sneezing fit. I have no idea why, but I thought just in case I'm coming down with something, let's have some yummy tea to help make that go away. I think it's more just dust and gosh knows what in the air. So anyway, I do not want this to be a long clip because I started editing the vlog over the last couple days and I predict it's going to be long. So let me talk about what I've been reading today. I started 2 brand new books today, which is very exciting. I started reading, my audiobook is Fudge Cupcake Murder by Joanna Fluke, which is, I think, the 5th book in the Hannah Swenson series. I was listening to this on my way to work today, and it is so much fun. It's one of those series that, not that I forget about it because I know I'm working my way through it, but it's not until I start reading it or listening to it that I realize how much I absolutely love it. So this is a cozy mystery series, if you did not know, and it's about a woman by the name of Hannah, and she owns a place called, a business called the Cookie Jar. And so it is a cookie or cooking based, or food based cozy mystery, if you will. And every book she stumbles upon a dead body, and in this case, the town sheriff has been murdered. And her brother in law, Bill, who is a deputy, is actually one of the suspects in his murder. So Hannah is trying to clear up her brother in law's name. So that's kind of the basis of the story. It's super duper cute. I'm a little over 50% of the way through it. I will definitely get it done tomorrow. That's my goal. We do not have much on the docket for tomorrow other than going grocery shopping. So it's going to be a really nice and relaxing day tomorrow. Sunday I'm going to be a little bit busier, but tomorrow will be nice. So yes, so I am enjoying that one. My current ebook is another one. Like I said, I started two new books. This is the other one I just started, and it is called The Alamo Bride by, I'm going to get the author's name wrong, Kathleen Ybarra, I believe is how you say the author's name. And this is a historical fiction inspirational romance. I did not realize when I requested on NetGalley that it was inspirational. Not that that bothers me, just saying. This is a series that I think it's the 7th book in the Daughters of the Mayflower series. So it follows different time periods in American history, and essentially it's like romances that take place during those times. And this one takes place in 1836 during the Texas Revolution. So I guess Texas becoming an American state. I'm sorry, I need to brush up on that part of my American history knowledge. I don't know very much about it. But I'm only about 20% of the way through this. I wanted to get through more of it today, but like I said, tonight I was chatting with my friends, which I haven't done in a while, so that was enjoyable. So the reading went to the wayside, but like I said again, lots of time to do nothing tomorrow, so I can definitely, this is not a long book. It's only, I think, a little over 200 pages. So I predict I can probably finish it tomorrow if I just sit down and do some reading. It's enjoyable so far. So the premise is about a man by the name of Clay, who is aware that years and years earlier his grandfather had hidden this fortune, and this fortune is going to help the army. So he is trying to find out where it is. And so he is in Texas. Where the story is located, it's not the Alamo as per the title suggests. It's actually not far from Galveston, Texas, and I guess that there were some battles that happened in this place. There's a fort there and stuff like that. Again, my knowledge of this portion of American history is not very good, so I do apologize. And he meets with a woman who lives in the area, and they've only literally just kind of met in passing, but each of them, the story is kind of told, like parts from her and parts from him, not in first person, but like from her perspective and then from his perspective. And she's, her father and brother have gone off to fight the war, and she is home with her mother and her much younger brothers, her other brothers. So yeah, I know I don't have, it's very vague, but I guess the two of them are going to meet and work together, or something's going to happen historically. People rave about this series, and it's got really high ratings on Goodreads. Again, this is a NetGalley book, so far I'm enjoying it. It's very readable, and very historical, which I do so love. We haven't gotten into any kind of romance yet, so it's labeled as, it's not labeled as a romance per se, but the fact that it's called The Alamo Bride makes me think that there's obviously going to be some sort of a romance in there, but I think it's more labeled as just a historical fiction, so I will report back and let you guys know what I think about it. I'm still reading my print book, my Harlequin print book, The Coral Sea by Jane Converse. I'm really enjoying this one. I haven't talked about this one too much in this vlog, I don't think. It is about a woman who is a a documentary maker. She does documentaries. And she is working with this gentleman on a ship as he travels like Fiji and Australia and like all these kind of places. And he's a scientist, and he is doing like she's following him to do a documentary on what it is that he's doing, protecting wildlife and stuff like that. So this book is for my 40 Years of Harlequin project, and I think this is the book from '83. So I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I'm not nearly as far through it as I wanted to be at this point. I'm about 120 pages. I'm about halfway through it, I guess. Again, I've got the next few days to finish it. I don't plan on finishing this one tomorrow. I give myself a week to read each of these, so I want it done by Monday night. But I should definitely be able to catch up and get that done in that time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a couple books to show you guys though before I let you go. So the first one, you'll notice I haven't been talking about the Alphabet Bride series that's on Kindle Unlimited that I've been reading through. I read the first two books, A and B, and I'm gonna take a little mini break from them, not because I don't like them, but because there's something else I want to read. So earlier this week I talked about my doctor's appointment and how my doctor said to me, we need you to lose a little bit of weight and start doing some exercises. Well, that night, Garrett and I went over to Walmart, and I saw this book at Walmart, and I thought about buying it. I'm like, the cover price, I'll tell you guys, because, you can look up the cover price. It's very easy. Is $35 Canadian. I have a very difficult time buying a new book at full price. I really, really do. I have to really want the book to do that. As you guys know, everything is on a Kindle deal, or I get it used. So I went on the library website while I was standing in Walmart, and I typed it in on Libby or on Overdrive or whatever you want to call it. And they have a copy of it on ebook, but it's like a 10-week wait period. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to read it now. Instant gratification, people. So I checked Amazon, and Amazon had it on sale, and it was about $5 cheaper than you would pay for it in the store. So it was like $30, right? So anyway, excuse me. I thought, okay, well, I'll just buy the ebook then, The ebook was $20. Like, hi, I'm going to buy the hardcover if the ebook is $20. So, the book I got, it's a nonfiction book, and it is I don't want to say, it says diet myths, but I don't like to consider this to be a diet thing. I like to consider this to be a lifestyle change thing. So the book is called Dressing on the Side and Other Diet Myths Debunked. 11 Science-Based Ways to Eat More, Stress Less, and Feel Great About Your Body by Jacqueline London, MS, RD, and CDN. So a lot of initials after her name. I read some reviews on this on Goodreads, or I for a nonfiction book, to read through reviews is not that big a deal because it's not like it's giving away the ending, like the spoiler. And a lot of people the people who didn't like it so much were tending to say this is stuff you should already know. And as I was flipping through it, yes, a lot of it, absolutely. Like, that's a prime example, Dressing on the Side. If you're trying to eat healthier, if you go to a restaurant to eat, you don't have them put the dressing on it because they always put on too much. Put it on the side, and then you can put as much on as you want. Sorry, guys, maybe I am getting sick. My throat's all tickly. So, I thought this would be good. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think, if anything, it's going to really push, this whole trying to eat better and exercise more and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, that's why I decided to pick it up. I decided to treat myself. My husband got a gift, and I'm just throwing stuff around. My husband got a gift certificate. We'll pretend that didn't happen. He got a gift certificate from Amazon for his birthday, from my parents. And he ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and he had a little bit of money still left on it. And I said, can I piggyback this on there? And, we share money. Like, we have a joint account. It's not like it's that big a deal. And I'm like, you'll have that money later to spend, whatever the difference is. He goes like, there's nothing else I really want right now. He's like, get yourself the book. So, yay. So that was pretty good. So part of it came from the gift certificate. So thanks to my mom and dad. But yeah, so that was pretty awesome. So that is the one book I want to show you guys. So I will be reading this over the next little while. I'm going to be reading a little bit every night before bed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks interesting, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated on what I think about it as I work my way through it. And then the last book I want to show you guys, of course, as I already talked about my 40 Years of Harlequin project, I'm going to be opening my next book. This is from 1984, so we are moving our way up. This is the 5th book, you guys, in this challenge. Very exciting. So very, very quick in case you're new, because there has been some new subscribers. The 40 Years of Harlequin project is something that I started in January, or at the beginning of the year. I will leave a link to it in the description box below to like my explanation video, but very quickly, essentially what I'm doing is I'm reading a book a year published by Harlequin between the years of 1979, which is the year I was born, because I turned 40 in a month, a little over a month, and to 2018. And then for the last 12 weeks of the year, I will be reading a book a month, like a book published each month of this year. So again, very quick explanation, but if you want more information, please do check out the video. So we're on to 1984. So let's open this up. And this is the book I'll be starting this week, of course. Ooh. Harlequin. Yes. Okay. So not all the books I was able to get the American editions. This is actually, I believe, this might either be a reprint. I don't think it's the UK. It is the UK edition because it's in British pounds on the back. So Harlequin Love Affair, which I think in the US was the American Romance line. And this is Museum Piece by Anne Stewart. I'm not sure what number this is in the American Romance line, but this was published in 1984. So yeah, Anne Stewart has written a lot. She does actually a lot of romantic suspense novels. There is a great series that she wrote, the Ice series. I think one book was called Ice Blue, and I can't remember the other titles, but I distinctly remember that, and it was like, I read a couple of them and they were really good. I do actually have them on my Amazon wish list, and eventually I'd like to get to them again. But yeah, so let's see what this one is about. Excuse me, just bear with me just a second. I don't necessarily like doing that on camera, but sorry, again, my throat. Carefully guarded, untouchable, her heart was like a museum piece. James Eliot thwarted her at every turn, outmaneuvering and outbidding her, scooping up art treasures before she could acquire them for San Francisco's Museum of American Art. It was unscrupulous and unethical, and Mary Lindsay MacDonald decided she'd better do something about it. She would send him a letter of protest, a very cool, very professional letter, but not before she had written a satisfactory, extremely nasty poison pen letter. The letter she would have sent if she didn't have her reputation and that of the museum to consider. Unfortunately, distracted by a box of chocolates, haven't we all been in there, guys? She slipped the wrong letter into the envelope. It's kind of like To All the Boys I Loved Before, but for like adults, published in 84. Isn't that what happened? Well, I mean, other than a nasty letter about museum pieces, but isn't it that her letters accidentally got mailed? Oh my gosh, how fun is this going to be? Again, I've mentioned this before. I found these books, all of the books, by year. As long as it fit the year criteria and it looked reasonably interesting, like I really just looked at the covers of these, I picked it up. I'll be honest, guys. I was a cover snob for most of these. And authors that I was familiar with, and I am familiar with Anne Stewart. So, I'm very excited about this one now. It sounds very interesting. So yes, I'll be starting that this coming week. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video and for this vlog. And I will talk to you guys in my next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and happy reading. Bye, guys.